The Congo rainforest, wrapped in endless green shadows, hides more than just trees and rivers. In this vast wilderness, nature does not simply exist. It whispers, it warns, and sometimes it terrifies. Beneath its towering canopy lie secrets untouched for centuries.
The Congo River slithers through the lush valleys. Congo, the lair of King Kong, the oldest stronghold of the great primates.
Guarded by silence and fear. Those who wander here often find more than they expect. Sounds without origin, creatures beyond belief, ruins that seem older than time. The deeper one goes, the stronger the feeling that the forest itself is watching.
People of the Congo Basin live hand to mouth, taking their chances when they come, awaiting the day when better governance may give them the development they crave.
Here, the line between legend and truth dissolves, leaving only mystery. The era of deadly diseases. In the heart of the Congo, danger does not only hide in the rivers or forests, it also lingers in the air, in the water, and within the human body. For decades, this land has carried the weight of disease. Malaria, measles, cholera, and Ebola have all left scars on families and villages. When the pandemic arrived, it struck a nation already weakened, and the toll was crushing. Hospitals stood without supplies, clinics ran out of medicine. Some children were treated under trees because there were no beds left inside. Mothers waited for help that never came. Fathers carried sick sons for miles, hoping to find a doctor, only to meet silence. The suffering was heavy, and yet the people endured. They did not turn away from one another. Instead, neighbors cared for neighbors, even as fear spread faster than any fever. What remains is not only a story of illness, but of survival. The Congo shows us that even in places where despair feels unending, there is still resilience. There is still the will to live. The astonishing tale of the gigantic snake. In 1959, a helicopter passed low over the Congo. What the pilot saw that day has never left the pages of mystery. Below him stretched the outline of a snake so large it seemed almost unreal. Its body wound across the earth like a river of muscle and scales. When it lifted its head, it rose higher than a man could stand, eyes flashing in the sun. The pilot, Colonel Remy van Lierde, was no stranger to danger. A veteran of war, he had seen combat in the skies of Europe. His words were steady, his reputation unquestioned. He measured the serpent at close to 50 feet, far beyond the length of any known python. A photograph was taken, blurred yet chilling, a shadow that seemed alive. Some claim it was only an oversized python, a rare accident of nature. Others whisper of the Titanoboa, a prehistoric giant thought lost millions of years ago. But in the silence of the jungle, where myths breathe beside reality, the question still lingers. What exactly moved beneath that helicopter? Mountain of Gold. In a small village in Congo, a strange sight drew crowds from every direction. A hill that shimmered beneath the sunlight, its soil glittering with traces of gold. Word spread quickly, and soon people were climbing the slopes with shovels, bowls, even bare hands, desperate to claim a piece of the treasure. For a moment, it seemed like fortune had fallen from the sky. But Congo is a place where riches rarely reach the poor. The gold, like copper and cobalt before it, often finds its way into distant markets, while the people who live above it remain in poverty. As men and women dug deeper, hope mixed with fear. Police arrived soon after, ordering an end to the frenzy, reclaiming what the villagers had gathered. The land fell silent again, but whispers remained. Some said the mountain was a sign of destiny, others called it a warning. Ancient stories told of riches that brought ruin, of wealth that carried a curse. In the Congo, gold does not simply shine, it unsettles, reminding all who see it that every blessing here comes with a shadow. The Cave of Agonizing Death. Long ago, an Italian explorer named Attilio Gatti entered the Congo with more curiosity than fear. He had survived war, crossed deserts, and filmed the spirit of Africa for the world to see. But one journey haunted him more than all the rest: the descent into a cave whispered about by locals, a place they called cursed. Guided only by rope and torch, Gatti lowered himself into the opening. The deeper he went, the colder the air became. When the light touched the ground, it revealed something terrible. Skulls lay scattered across the stone, bones piled in silence as though an unseen hand had arranged them. Snakes slid through the shadows. Spiders clung to the walls. The cave did not feel empty. It felt alive, as if it had claimed every soul that entered before him. Gatti returned, shaken, and he never attempted the cave again. The story spread, but no one has since proven what he saw. Was it a burial site, a trap, or something darker? The cave remains, waiting in the forest, its secrets sealed by silence. Electrifying stones of Manono. In a remote part of Manono, villagers uncovered something that made the world pause. Buried in the soil were dark, glossy stones that sparked when struck together. In shaky recordings, flames danced across their surface as if lightning itself had been locked inside. One small rock, connected to wires, lit a bulb for hours. Another clip showed two stones pressed together, throwing out sparks strong enough to weld metal. The images spread across the internet, stirring fascination and disbelief. Some called them fragments of a new element, unknown to science. Others compared them to vibranium, the mythical metal from comic books. There were also skeptics who dismissed it all as staged tricks, powered by hidden batteries or clever editing. Yet the villagers who held the stones swore they were real. Their hands shook, but their eyes gleamed with pride. Whether natural or not, the discovery raised a question that has yet to fade. Could the Congo hide energy sources the world has never known? Until proven false, the stones remain a spark of mystery, burning quietly in the dark. The Billy Apes. Missing link? Deep in the remote forests of northern Congo, researchers began hearing unsettling reports. Locals spoke of apes unlike any they had ever seen, huge, fearless, and strangely different. When scientists finally tracked them down, they realized the stories were true. These were no ordinary chimpanzees. The creatures, later called Billy Apes, stood taller and broader than their cousins. Their skulls carried traits of both chimp and gorilla, blurring the line between species. They hunted in silence, tearing apart small animals with frightening ease. Some witnesses claimed they had even challenged lions, a battle no chimp should survive. What startled researchers most was not only their size, but their behavior. They built nests on the ground instead of high in trees. They worked together in coordinated groups, defending territory with a discipline that felt almost human. Were they simply a hidden subspecies, or something older, a genetic echo from a time before humans stood apart? No one knows for certain. In the shadows of the Congo, the Billy Apes remain, watching, guarding a secret that could rewrite the story of evolution itself. Congo and the mystery of Stonehenge. Across the plains of England stands Stonehenge, its massive stones older than memory. For centuries, people have wondered how they were moved and where they truly came from. In recent years, a strange theory surfaced, linking the monument not to Britain alone, but to Africa, specifically the Congo. Fossil traces in some stones hinted at origins far from Wiltshire. A few researchers suggested they may have once been part of ancient deposits in Central Africa before being carried across the world by unknown hands. If true, the mystery deepens. Who could have moved such enormous blocks thousands of miles without wheels or machines? Legends tell of a network of civilizations that shared knowledge across oceans long before history was written. Some believe Stonehenge's alignment with the sun and stars was part of a larger map, connecting distant cultures through the heavens. Whether or not Congo's soil once held the roots of Stonehenge, the idea lingers. It ties two distant lands with a thread of mystery, reminding us that the past is never as simple as it seems. The giant Congo spiders. Among the tangled vines and towering trees of the Congo, stories travel like whispers. One of the most unsettling speaks of spiders so large they stretch across the forest floor like shadows. Locals call them juba fofi. Their bodies are said to reach the size of a dinner plate, with legs that span wider than a child's outstretched arms. Hunters claim to have stumbled into their webs, silken traps strong enough to snare birds and small animals. Some tales describe victims struggling until the spider descended, venom ready, fangs sinking deep. To the tribes, these creatures are not fantasy, but part of daily caution. Paths are avoided, rivers crossed quickly, and fires kept burning to ward them away. Scientists have never caught one, though explorers have returned with chilling stories and sketches. Was it exaggeration born from fear, or could the dense, unexplored forest still hide such a predator? The truth remains hidden in the undergrowth. Until then, the legend of the giant Congo spider endures, a reminder that the rainforest may still hold creatures that belong to nightmares. The lost city of Zinj. Hidden in the depths of the Virunga region lies a story that refuses to fade. It is the tale of Zinj, a city said to have thrived on the wealth of diamonds buried beneath its soil. For generations, locals spoke of its walls, its towers, and the shimmering gems that once lit its streets. Legends claim that Zinj was no ordinary city. Its people trained guardians, unlike any seen elsewhere, creatures said to be part gorilla, part human, bred to protect the treasure within. Fierce and intelligent, they stood watch against intruders, defending the city with loyalty that seemed unbreakable. But time is merciless. The city was eventually abandoned, swallowed by jungle and silence. Only rumors survived, carried in hushed voices by those who believed they had glimpsed its ruins. Explorers searched, finding hints but never proof, as if the land itself chose to conceal its secret. Today, Zinj lingers between history and myth, a reminder of how quickly greatness can vanish. Perhaps it still lies beneath the vines, waiting for eyes brave enough to uncover it once more. Horrors of cobalt mines. Beneath the soil of the Congo lies a metal the modern world depends on: cobalt. It powers our phones, our laptops, and the batteries that drive electric cars. Yet the price of this progress is written in human suffering. Across the mining towns, children crawl through narrow tunnels with no light except the faint glow of a candle. Men swing crude tools, their lungs filling with dust, their skin stained by toxic earth. For many, the day's labor earns only a handful of coins, barely enough to eat.
Although one of the poorest countries on Earth,
accidents are common, and the ground sometimes collapses, swallowing lives without warning. The global market celebrates clean energy, but the truth in Congo is far from clean. Families trade safety for survival. Boys who should be in school carry sacks heavier than their own bodies. Girls wash minerals in rivers until their hands crack and bleed. Still, they continue, because leaving means hunger. The cobalt leaves the country, polished and pure, but the scars remain. It is a silent reminder that behind every shining screen, there are stories buried in darkness, waiting to be heard. Subscriber Mystery Pick. Deep inside the Congo's endless green, explorers once stumbled upon something that shook even the bravest among them. At first, it was only footprints, massive impressions in the mud, far larger than those of elephants. Each step pressed so deeply it seemed a creature of impossible weight had passed by. No known animal could explain them. Then came the ruins. Hidden beneath the canopy, broken walls and carvings emerged, covered in moss. Symbols etched into the stone hinted at a civilization long forgotten, one advanced enough to leave its mark, yet erased from history. Among the rubble lay artifacts whose purpose no one could name. As the team pressed farther, they reported strange cries at night, sounds that echoed through the jungle with no source. Some swore they saw a figure in the dark, half human, half beast, its eyes glowing red like embers. Whether truth or illusion, the story spread fast. Scientists and skeptics debated, but the villagers needed no convincing. To them, the jungle has always belonged to powers older than man, and sometimes those powers choose to reveal themselves. The Mahamba. Rivers in the Congo carry more than fish and drifting logs. They hold a legend that locals call the Mahamba, a crocodile so vast it dwarfs the canoes that dare to cross its path. Some stories describe it stretching nearly 50 feet, its armored back gliding silently beneath the surface, waiting with endless patience. When it strikes, it does so without warning. Entire boats are said to vanish in its jaws, swallowed by a single motion. To the people who live near these waters, the Mahamba is not a tale for children. It is a warning carried from one generation to the next, a reminder of the danger lurking just beneath the river's calm skin. Scientists who hear the stories often compare the creature to Sarcosuchus, the prehistoric ancestor of crocodiles that once ruled the waterways millions of years ago. Others see echoes of the great reptiles that swam during the age of dinosaurs. No one has captured proof, yet the fear remains real. When night falls along the riverbanks, fishermen glance at the dark water and whisper, hoping the Mahamba does not rise. The unexplained sound phenomenon. In the Congo's interior, where trees stand like walls and light struggles to reach the ground, strange noises drift through the night. They come without pattern, sometimes a deep, rolling hum, other times a high-pitched wail that seems to pierce the air itself. People who hear them say the forest feels different afterward, as if it is holding its breath. Scientists have offered guesses, perhaps shifting plates underground, or hidden rivers grinding stone against stone. Others suggest weather, strange winds moving through the canopy, turning branches into instruments. But no test has pinned down a cause, and no recording has ever matched what locals describe. Villagers have their own explanations. Some believe the cries belong to spirits guarding the land. Others say unknown creatures, still hidden from science, may be sending their calls across the jungle. What unsettles everyone is the same truth. The sounds come from nowhere. They begin suddenly, echo, and fade, leaving silence so heavy it feels unnatural. In the Congo, even the air speaks, and it reminds us how much remains beyond our understanding. Mokele Mbembe, a living dinosaur? Among the rivers and swamps of the Congo Basin, a creature is spoken of with both fear and awe. Its name is Mokele Mbembe, meaning the one who stops the flow of rivers. Descriptions paint a beast unlike anything alive today. It is said to be the size of an elephant, with a long neck, a bulky body, and a tail powerful enough to churn the water like a storm. Unlike crocodiles or hippos, locals claim it eats plants, stripping leaves and crushing vegetation as it moves through the forest. Yet its strength makes it feared, for even without hunting animals, it can overturn boats with a single sweep. Explorers who came searching for proof returned with conflicting stories, some with sketches, some with only silence. Scientists remain doubtful, but the reports refuse to fade. To believers, the creature is a living relic, perhaps the last survivor of a prehistoric world thought lost forever. Whether myth or miracle, the legend of Mokele Mbembe continues to flow with the rivers. In every ripple, some still hope a shadow will rise, proving the past never fully disappeared. Giant creepy crawlers. The Congo is a land where size itself becomes unsettling. Insects here grow to proportions that seem impossible. The Goliath beetle, with its thick shell and heavy body, feels more like a machine than a creature. To see it spread its wings is to watch a fragment of the forest take flight, buzzing with raw power. Millipedes coil like armored chains across the earth, harmless but unnerving in their endless movement. And hidden in the branches, mantises stretch long forelegs, striking with a speed that leaves smaller animals no chance to escape. It is as if the forest preserves echoes of an ancient earth, where even the smallest life carried monstrous weight. Yet deeper within the jungle waits another kind of giant, one that does not crawl, but stands. Expedition teams have walked for days under curfew and threat, guided only by rangers and instinct to find him. Locals call him Beginning, a silverback of such size and strength that he appears carved from the land itself. His chest rises like a wall, his gaze sharp, and in his silence lies a warning no words can match. One wrong step could bring destruction, yet he allows intruders to stand in his presence. Together, these giant beetles, mantises, and gorillas speak of a place where life has chosen not to shrink but to remain vast. The Congo does not let us forget its power. It reveals creatures that crawl through nightmares and kings who walk with thunder in their veins. Here, survival is not only about living, it is about respecting the weight of beings that claim the forest as their own. The Congo remains a place where answers slip away as quickly as questions appear. Its rivers, its forests, and its hidden caverns hold stories that refuse to fade. Some of what we've seen may be legend, some may be truth, and perhaps some lies somewhere in between. But each mystery reminds us of how little we truly know about the world we live in. The rainforest continues to whisper, daring us to listen, daring us to search. And in those shadows, we are left with a choice: to fear the unknown or to wonder at its endless depths.